Are you tired of the guesswork when it comes to pruning your hydrangeas? Say goodbye to uncertainty and hello to confidence with our expert advice. Hello, this is Amy from Gardening Know-How, and I am here to demystify hydrangea pruning and make it easier than ever before. Our simple guidance will take the stress out of pruning and ensure your hydrangeas thrive and bloom beautifully each and every year. The first step is to identify the type of hydrangea you have. Different types of hydrangeas have different pruning requirements. Luckily, each species can easily be identified based on the flower form, leaf shape, and stem thickness. So, as I discuss the pruning recommendations for each type, I'll also describe unique characteristics to assist in identifying the hydrangea species you may have. One of the most recognizable types, the Mopheads, have large rounded flowers, usually in shades of blue, pink, or purple, atop thick stems blooming amongst the large, ovate-shaped leaves that are glossy and deep green in color, arranged in alternate patterns along the stems. Lacecaps and mountain hydrangeas also belong to this pruning group. Lacecaps have a flat center surrounded by a ring of larger blooms, ranging anywhere from pink to blue. Their leaves are also serrated and tend to be medium to dark green in color with a glossy or matte texture. When it comes to pruning, this is by far the most challenging type of hydrangea to explain. After this, the rest will be easy peasy. Older varieties within this group bloom on old wood, meaning they set their buds the previous season, and if you remove a branch with buds, you are removing any hope for summer bloom. You may be familiar with common varieties such as Nico Blue and Pink Beauty. However, many newer varieties within this group bloom on both old wood and new wood, meaning they could possibly bloom early using last season's buds and still produce new flower buds during the growing season. Some newer rebloomers that have been recently introduced would include Endless Summer, Bloomstruck, and the Let's Dance series. These new introductions are highly valuable, especially for homeowners in colder climates, who frequently experience the loss of overwintered buds due to late spring frosts or freezes. No matter which type you have, you should follow the same pruning technique. You can deadhead spent flowers right after bloom up until early fall, although this is not necessary, and the spent blooms provide pretty winter interest in the landscape. Spring pruning is not recommended, although it would be wise to thin the plant by removing any dead, damaged, or crossing branches, and any branches that are no longer viable to the plant. The branches that can and should be removed will be very woody, possibly hollow-stemmed, and lighter in color. The flowers of a smooth hydrangea are also round, from the size of baseballs all the way to basketballs. They bloom atop stems that are usually thinner than other species. Flower color can range from creamy white to light and dark shades of pink. The leaves are generally heart-shaped, thin, and floppier than the mopheads, with a lighter green underside. They are also normally bloom earlier than the mophead types. You may be most familiar with popular varieties such as Annabelle, Incredible, or the Invincible series. Some of the older varieties tend to flop with the weight of the blooms, so staking may be required. Luckily, smooth hydrangeas are easy to prune, and if you make a small mistake, they will still bounce back and reward you with season-long bloom. This type blooms on new wood, so it is best to prune in late winter or early spring before new growth begins. We recommend cutting the plant back to 15 to 18 inches above the ground after the buds begin to swell. Simply clip the branches above the buds, working your way around the plant, pruning out any dead, damaged, or crossing branches along the way. If you are unsure of the health of a particular branch, we suggest the scratch test. Lightly scratch the bark with your fingernail or sharp object, and if you see green, it is alive. If the branch is brown and brittle, it should be removed. Also blooming on new wood, Panicle hydrangeas offer large cone-shaped blooms, typically emerging creamy white atop very thick and strong stems. As the season progresses, the blooms may undergo a gradual transformation, including shades of green, pink, or red, maintaining this color for a long period. The leaves are more egg-shaped with slightly serrated margins growing opposite from one another on the stem. They are medium to dark green, turning a dull shade of yellow in the fall. The most popular Panicle variety of all time is Limelight. These flowers open green, then change to white, and finally fade to shades of pink throughout the season. This variety is perfect for hedging as it can grow upwards of 8 feet tall. Other popular varieties within this group are Quickfire, which blooms very early compared to other Panicle types, and Bobo, which is a very floriferous variety growing to just 3 feet tall. Panicle types are also very forgiving and very easy to prune. They can be pruned in late winter to early spring. Begin by cutting back no more than 1/3 of the top growth per season, as this will encourage strong stems to help support those ultra-large blooms all summer long. You may think it would be wise to cut the plant back by half or more to control its overall size. However, this technique proves ineffective, as the plant will still achieve its full potential, regardless of how much you prune. Be sure to cut above a set of buds and remove any small, spindly branches or anything smaller than the width of a pencil. Branches that appear damaged or crossing other stems should also be removed. You can apply the same technique to prune a tree-form hydrangea as you would a shrub-form panicle hydrangea, ensuring to preserve the ball-shaped tree silhouette. Last but certainly not least is the Oakleaf hydrangea. Oakleaves are the easiest to recognize because of their large cone-shaped blooms, large oak-shaped leaves that are dark green during the season, transitioning to brilliant red or purple by fall, and the thick stems with a bit of peeling bark that provides additional winter interest. Most varieties bloom white, then transition to light or dark pink as the season progresses. This type typically blooms earlier than all of the other species mentioned. When it comes to pruning, this type is basically hands-off. They also bloom on old wood, meaning they form their buds in late summer of the previous season. So the only safe time to prune is as the flowers are beginning to fade, which would occur sometime in mid-summer. Since some varieties of oakleaf can grow quite large, my top tip is to ensure you select a type that complements your landscape. And there you have it, the complete guide to hydrangea pruning. Remember, understanding the specific needs of each hydrangea species will help you achieve beautiful blooms year after year. For more in-depth information on hydrangeas, don't forget to check out our dedicated playlist on our channel, where you'll discover our top 5 tips for keeping your hydrangeas happy, learn the secrets to changing flower color, unravel the mysteries behind why your hydrangeas might not be blooming, and so much more. Well, thanks for watching and happy gardening!